This is a Pele Media podcast.
Welcome back to Goonies Minute, everybody. Goonies Minute is the fan podcast where we carefully explore the movie Goonies minute by minute. This is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we are here to talk about the 83rd minute of the movie Goonies today. And we are joined by our very special guest, again, Scott from Pirates of the Caribbean Minute. Scott, thanks so much for coming on again today. How you doing?
Yeah, it's great you guys flew me all the way out to Louisiana.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted.
That's right. We got you set up right here next to us in the studio, you know?
Oh, man.
Exactly. It's
tell
quite
us
the outfit.
Tell us again how we can find you online.
Yeah, head on over to blackpearlminute.com, and we have all the links there to iTunes, to Google Play, and all those other platforms and podcatchers. But we're also on Facebook as well, and Twitter at Pirates of the Caribbean Minute. So you can find us pretty much wherever podcasts can be listened to and online.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Very cool. And as we've been talking so far this week, we're planning a special episode coming up where we're going to have you guys on to talk about all things Pirates of the Caribbean. So for anybody who's interested in that, definitely stay tuned to the show. All right, everybody. Do you guys want to go ahead and get into the minute?
Let's get into the minute.
Let's do it.
In the previous minute, the Goonies had narrowly escaped being shot by the Fratellis and had now found themselves in a natural water slide. At minute 83, the Goonies continue to slide through the tunnels. They can't contain their laughter. They slide past one another until they come to the end of the tunnels. Each of the tunnels spills out of a rock wall and into a giant cave. One by one, they emerge from the tunnels and into a pool of water below. They all stand up and wipe the water away from their eyes, and something catches Mikey's attention. He stares off into the distance in amazement. Data turns to see what he's looking at. Brand, Mouth, Stephanie, and Andy all turn around, and they cannot believe what they are looking at. We cut to a wide shot revealing One-Eyed Willie's ship, the Inferno. The ship is towering over everything else in the cave. Its ornate woodwork, sails, and rigging are in perfect condition after sitting untouched for hundreds of years. They have finally made it. And thus ends minute 83 of the Goonies. So, we're still on the slide with this minute, and I tell you, it's a fun moment, and I'm sure I would be having fun if the slide was this, wide open and everything, but I'm pretty sure I would start to panic, and the movie The Descent would start coming to mind. Have you guys ever seen The Descent?
Ooh, I can't say that I have.
What is that?
I think we've talked about it so far on the show at some point. It's a movie, it came out probably about 10 years ago where this group of women go spelunking in somewhere else. Spelunking, cave diving.
Okay.
Yeah,
I never
you
knew
never heard
it was
that term?
called that. Yeah.
And
Thank you for that.
Yeah, climbing around in these caves. Well, climbing around in caves is not easy. And there's one moment where a girl gets stuck in this
you talked
tunnel,
about this.
and she can't move. Her
That's
entire
frightening.
body is stuck, and her friends have to go in and push her out. She makes it out. Spoiler alert. But it is nerve-wracking. If you've got claustrophobia, the only movement she has is the ability to slightly turn her head side to side. It's so terrible. Have you ever seen the movie Buried with Ryan Reynolds?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That movie, that guy had it easy compared to this woman. He had 4-star accommodations.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just what's coming to mind whenever I watch this. It's what if that tunnel got really tight and they were suddenly just trapped in there with nothing but rushing water?
Two things. First of all, there's this fun type music playing, whimsical music playing
That's right.
as they go down the slide.
Yeah.
And again, it's so beautifully well lit.
Yeah, it's perfectly lit in there somehow.
Yeah, again. And it's a long ride down. This was a good 20 seconds or so.
This
it wasn't just a little bit of a quick 5-second trip. This was a good part of the minute.
It's longer than I remember. Remember it being. But whenever we come out of those tunnels, we get one of the moment the most pivotal moment in the entire movie. It's what we've been waiting for. It's, are we going to make it to the ship? Are we going to get to One-Eyed Willie's treasure and his hideout? And whenever we do get there, what's it going to be like? And we are just completely rewarded with one of the most grand moments in any movie that I've ever seen, just about. And certainly for these actors.
Okay, you're talking about the silence. Right when they fall into the lagoon, I guess we'll call it. Mm-hmm. None of them see the ship yet. and there is silence. The only thing you hear is the running water, just for a few seconds, and then all of a sudden they turn and see that ship, and you hear this just beautiful music play of like this achievement that has just occurred. They finally, and it's not the final goal, but the goal is in reach.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a hell of a moment, and it's funny that Donner had all of this set up so that he was going to capture the kids' actual reaction upon coming out. But as soon as they all turned around, the cameras were set up, and as soon as they all turned around and saw the actual ship that was built inside of the soundstage in full scale, they all just started cursing,
Yeah, none of them had seen it before.
Yeah.
So they wanted the original surprise of them seeing it for the first time.
But they couldn't use the footage because they all started cursing.
And now some places you'll read that it really was their first reaction. Then I read a little bit more, and it says that they had to retake it. I choose to believe the one that they had to retake it, because why would somebody make that up?
Yeah, exactly.
I've read it a couple different places, but it looks like that original reaction, it was a little bit too much cursing. Yeah, because there is cursing in the movie, but it was a little bit too much for what they wanted in a PG movie.
Exactly. So
you're saying somebody dropped an F-bomb there. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm thinking maybe. At some point that may have happened. But, I mean, let's talk about that. We're on this massive soundstage. You've got a full lagoon built in there that is so many feet deep. Rock work going all the way up to the ceiling on the sides. Waterfalls coming down like from the ceiling, and then you get an actual full-scale pirate ship that was actually built to scale. And there's actually kind of a tragedy to the story of the ship and what happened to it. I'm going to save that to get into that in a later minute. But it's all there. It was all there not just for the kids' reactions, but so that they could achieve, just that authenticity. And it wouldn't be a matte painting. It wouldn't be green screen or model work that we would probably be able to tell that it was fake. It was actually there, and that's just so cool to me. That's amazing.
Hollywood never fails to impress me on the ingenuity and like the artwork and the intricate details that they can come up with. It really is astounding what they can put on a stage like that, or a sound stage, a production lot, or a studio set. It really is incredible.
Yes, absolutely. Now that very first shot, whenever you get that wide shot, and it's over the Goonies' shoulder, and you see the ship. To me, it does look a little doctored up. It does,
I actually have a note. It almost looks like a painting.
It almost looks like a painting.
Yeah.
That may be doctored up a little bit. Like that may be a multi-layered shot. In fact, if you consider that the Goonies are in focus as well as the ship in the distance, there might be some work there. But I mean, either way, it's an amazing moment. Amazing moment. You get just the culmination of the music, the actors' reactions, how natural they are, and everything just comes together and makes this moment worth having gone through this entire adventure. So, Scott, do you remember whenever you first saw this, what your reaction was to this moment, or just having seen it? Like some of your earliest memories of having seen the movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about that when I saw the ship. It was just really, it just sold it to me, actually, that you're actually there with these kids. Well, actually, I was more jealous of anything that these kids were actually able to see this pirate ship in this cave. I mean, that's what I wanted. I wanted to find a pirate ship like that. I still want to find a pirate ship like that, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I think that's what really sold it to me as a kid, that we're finally it's not like my adventures where I came back and I just had some small trinkets. These were the ones that I was now living vicariously through them, because they came and they brought the ship, or the ship is there. They found the actual treasure of this ship, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah. They really make the most of this set and this moment. I mean, there's no point where you see where every penny of the budget went whenever they're showing, displaying everything here. So the level of detail that they went with was just incredible, absolutely incredible. So we're talking about a pirate ship and pirate iconography and everything like that. Scott, was there any reason that you went with Pirates of the Caribbean in terms of just pirates in general? I mean, is that like an interest of yours?
Well, not necessarily, I guess, in the historical context of things, but I've always been drawn to, say, swashbuckler type movies, and that just happened to be one that resonated with me, say as a kid because of the ride and that whole bringing it back to, to something that actually I could really enjoy, especially as a sci-fi fan, that there are multiple elements that are in that movie. And so I think that's really what it was. And it just, so it takes me back. It's like Goonies does. It takes me back to a kid, but this also helps remind me of what it was like to be a kid again and seeing Pirates of the Caribbean for the first time. And now with the whole, and I am into history, and I like, say historical epic type films a lot. And so this was a great kind of way so that I could actually come up with and have the time, or at least make the time, to research pirate history, some of the golden age of piracy stuff, actual maritime and nautical themes that we could bring into the show. So we do a lot of that. We actually bring in and do research on things that we talk about that maybe, we kind of analyze some of that. Is that actually how it would work? Or, they mentioned Cortez, so we do a quick little blurb about who Hernan Cortez was and the Aztecs. So we kind of try and bring in a little bit of that stuff and then also make it entertaining. So
definitely, that's what I love so much about pirates, and how almost fantastical of a thing it is. And yet it's true. Pirates in the classic sense, and it wasn't that long ago. I mean, it's just a couple of 100 years. You had pirates on the high seas doing everything that we kind of imagine them whenever we think of Pirates of the Caribbean and things.
You go to Somalia and you
go to
still have
Somalia. That's right. On our top 3 Patreon episode, I think my number 1 was Captain Phillips. So that stuff's still right. Very, very relevant. But yeah, I don't know. It's so cool. And then to whenever you hear about, there's been a ship discovered with so many billions of dollars in treasure on board. I think it was maybe coming up on 10 years ago or something like that. There was a ship discovered. I think it was Spanish, but it was discovered in English waters. And do you know what I'm talking about? There was like
I do remember something about that.
million or billion or trillion or something dollars in treasure on it, and they were fighting over who it belonged to, because it was originally Spanish property, but now it's found in English waters, so was it their property? It was a huge ordeal, but I remember the amount being just astronomical. So I don't know, man. It's always cool to hear that stuff like that's still being found.
And the colorful language. I mean, that's what pop culture part of it is we get back to the roots of Disney and how Robert Newton, who played, on Treasure Island, and he really established that kind of iconic pirate character that we all know today. And so I think Pirates of the Caribbean dabbles in all of those stereotypes, which are fun sometimes to deal in. And we get the walking the plank, even though maybe some of that stuff wasn't really real in Buried Treasure. But we get to actually think of it and join in and have some of that fun like we do here with Goonies. So I think that is part of all that fun that makes it a popular franchise. You were mentioning in the beginning how kind of going down that water slide and almost gets into a narrow, maybe that it gets narrow at some point to your fear. So is that a sign that we've all grown up? Because my thought, I think, now that I think about it, is maybe there could be some jagged rocks. It's not going to all be smooth going down that thing. I think that's a sad state now where we've all grown up and we have that fear now.
I think so, and I think that's why we have to make podcasts about the Goonies. It's to try and understand it and figure it out minute by minute. But that's everything I've got for this minute. How about you guys?
That's it for me.
I think I'm good.
Okay, well, I tell you what, that's it for minute number 83. But before we go, Scott, tell us again where people can find you and Pirates of the Caribbean Minute online.
Yeah, if you are looking to plunder Pirates of the Caribbean films one blimey minute at a time, head on over to blackpearlminute.com, and we're going to satisfy your pirate need. And not to mention, I do Gibbet Heather every once in a while, so if you really want to see some cool pirate stuff in action and Heather just hanging in a, as an old pirate swaying in the kind of that Iron Maiden thing, oh yeah, hey, we got it. We got something for everybody there.
All right, good deal. Well, go check that out, everybody. It's a hell of a podcast. And until tomorrow, this is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we're here to remind you that Goonies...
No, sorry. I was thinking about something else. Do that again.
And until then, this is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we're here to remind you that Goonies...
Never say die.
Very good, very good.
Sorry.
Good boy.
Goonies Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the show, then leave us a review on iTunes.
You can find us at GooniesMinute.com, Facebook.com/GooniesMinute, Twitter.com/GooniesMinute, and at Instagram at GooniesMinute. You can contact us at GooniesMinute@gmail.com. You've been listening to a Pele Media podcast. For premium content and exclusive podcasts, visit us at patreon.com/PeleMedia. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/PeleMedia and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/PeleMedia.